Hello, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. Finished gilding this area, whatever this area is called. The area where we were learning about ranges and maximums and minimums. And there's still some more puzzles in here I could do, like this one, I guess. But I'll get to that some other time. Let's go see where this is leading. Size separation. Neighboring regions must have different areas. So this is more strict than shape mingle, because shape mingle means, okay, they can have the same area, but they just can't be the same shape. Here, they can't even be the same area. For 2s and 1s, it's the same, of course. This is not right. I've got used to doing this because there's usually a minimum range, but there isn't anymore. So this can just be a 1 and this can be a 1. That's not right. How did I mess that up so fast? This can't go here because they have the same area, right? So it's got to go there. And this... Right, it's because I did this, but for all I know, we have that. So, okay. And I think I do indeed, because this can't go up. It would be next to a 4, so it has to go that way. And it can't go this way because it would be next to a 4, so it goes up. This 4 can't go here, so it does that. This 4 can't touch this, so it's got to go that way, and we do this. Okay. Not too bad, just got to reacclimate. These have to be the same region because they're the same size. And they can't be there, so this... These can't be 1s, they have to be a single 2. These can't touch. Hello? There we go. These are the same 5. These are the same 5. This can't be a region of its own, so it would be next to a 1. But I think it could go up. Okay, it could go up or it could go down. But more importantly, this 5. It can't touch this 5 in any way. So that's a 2. Has to come up here, and now it can't touch this 5, so it's got to go this way. Okay. Can I just have this pattern going forever? What stops this? It breaks down over here. Oh, also all of these are touching each other. Okay. Well, this can't go here because it can't join both of these regions, right? So it has to do that. Likewise, this can't go here because it can't join both of those regions. And this can't go here. Yeah. So there's this kind of... You can't go from a 3 into 2 other neighbors. Wait, was that right? Yeah. And this can't come up either. And this can't come down. Here, it actually could. This could go up and join here. Because there's not another 3 right here. But Now I know this 3 can't go here. It would be touching this, so it has to come down. And this one has to go up, and this one has to go down, this one has to go up, this one has to... well, it could join up. But it doesn't go there. So, like, not only does this go up, it doesn't go left, which is a useful distinction. Actually, I think if these didn't join up, we'd have a problem. This would have to go up, and then it couldn't go right, so it would go left. And this would have to go like this, but it would meet up with another guy. So these are the same regions. And this one can't go up. So it has to come down, and it joins up here. But now, how do I make another region do anything? This is the same puzzle twice. It's perfectly symmetrical, but there's no interaction between the two sides. So you can just solve the same puzzle twice. The symmetry is fine. But it means I can ignore the bottom half or ignore the top half, whichever I prefer. So, like, this can't be a region of its own, because these would have to be a thing, right? But also, this can't go here, because, yeah, it could. These could both be 1s, that would be fine. So, and this can't take both of these. In fact, it can't even take this one, because then this 3 would have to go here and touch this. Okay, what I should have done is draw these walls in, where these guys can't touch each other. Then it would be more clear. This is now a 2. The 3 goes there, and there, and there, and there. This can't be a 1, and it can't be a 2, and it can't be a 3, and it can't be a 4, so it's got to do this. Three's got to go there. 2 goes there. This is a 4. And this was all one big region, it turns out. Okay, I am now permitted to play in this area. Where is my window? It's here. I have done 6 of them. So this is the first time I've looked at one of these windows immediately after finishing the lead up to an area. I didn't know if the original 6 counted towards it or what. Got a little Stonehenge kind of thing going. Well, it's not a Stonehenge at all, but it is... Oh, what's the word? It's a lith, like a litho structure, a megalith, I guess. Not that mega, but like something. It is a large rock structure. Range 2 to 5 with size separation. And that's enough to figure this all out, huh? I mean, this is the obvious starting point, but what do you do with it? Not 2 to 5, 2 to 3, excuse me. Okay, I misread that. This is much better now. So both of these cells have to be part of a domino, because they can't be part of a 3. And they can't be separate dominoes, because then they'd be touching. So they have to be the same one. This has to be a 3. Which means this is part of a 2. It goes to here or here, not sure which. Either way, this would be a 3. But I know that that is now cut off, right? Oh, I do know which, because if this came down here, this would be next to a 2 and a 3, and there would be no size it could be. So it must be a 2. This is a 3, but it can't go over here, so it comes down. This is a 2. And this is also a 2, so they must be the same 2. That's a 3. Okay. This region is next to a 2 already, and if it were next to a 3, you would have a problem. So it must be that 3 itself. These are both 2s, so they have to be the same 2. This is a 3, this is a 2. This is a 3 that goes this way. That's a 2. I'm very good at identifying numbers sometimes. It's a very important skill to have. And I'm almost at a first grade level. These can't be 1s. This 3 can't go out to here because it would touch another 3, so it's got to go that way. This 5, of course, previously, when a 5 has been next to another 5, I've been like, well, they could connect up or they might not. But with size separation, they have to connect up. I don't know this. For all I know, this is a 1. That's not true. We could have this. This 4 can't join up with here. It would be too big. It has to go this way to get at least one more region. Cell. One more cell. Now, this 4 can't touch this 4, which is here, so it can't go this way. They would be touching. So, it has to come here. Well, no. It could go there, but it doesn't go here. And this can't go here, because it would touch this 4. Or there, because it would be part of a 3. So the 4 does that. This 4 has to go left, and then down. Now this 3 comes out, and indeed it does join up here. This 3 can't go up there, so it does this, and then I need a 1 and a 2. These are both 2s? Well, no, that's not true. This is a 2. This could be a 5 for all I know. But this one can't be a 1. It has to go to at least here. So does that. And it can't stop because then it would be a 2. So it goes there. It can't be a 3. It can't be a 4. So that's a 4 and that's at least a 5. This can't be a 1 or a 2. Now this 3 goes there. This can't be a 3 either, so it's at least a 4, which means it comes to here at least. And maybe picks this up, or maybe comes this way. This 2 can't go up, because then there'd be another 2 next to it. So it comes down. Ugh! Now there's a 1 next to a 1. Uh-oh. This can't be a 1 or 2 or 3. It has to be at least a 4, so it has to come here. No, it doesn't have to come here. It doesn't. It could do this. So it has to do that, because otherwise we end up with a problem with this 2. This can't be a 1 or a 2, so it goes to there. This 2 has to do that. And this has to stop before it touches that 4. this 3 has to be like that, because it can't touch either of these other 3s. This 3 has to be like that, because it can't touch this 3. This 3 goes there. This 2 can't go down, because then this couldn't be a 2 or 2 1s. So it goes up. This 3 can't go there. Oops. You can't go there, so you have to do this. You can't go there. You gotta go up to stop these 2 from being an isolated pair. Isolated pairs are never allowed in side separation. Well, they are, but not next to a 2. This can't go this way because there's a 3 here, so it goes that way. This can't be a 2 or a 3, so it's a 1, and that's a 2. And this area, we need a 2 here. Oh, let's do this one before I forget it exists. What is this? This is a whimsical shape. It's some sort of animal, right? Like, these ears clearly are not a core part of the logic of the puzzle. They're just add-ons for fun to make the shape right. And to me, it looks like some sort of animal, like almost like a stegosaurus, but or like a long-necked porcupine? I don't know what real-world animal has this shape, but it's gotta be an animal. Spiky snail? No, it's got feet. Okay, this is a 1. This 3 has to go that way to not touch this one. This has to go at least that far, and it can't go that way, so it does this. That's a 1. That's a 1. Let's identify some 1s first, shall we? 3 goes there. This is a 5. It doesn't actually have to take that square. But it has to take this one. But it doesn't have to take this. That could just be a 1 all by itself. No rules against that. This 3 has to do that. Oop, no, it doesn't. It has to not do that. It has to do this. Can't do that. I see. I made an error in here. This could have been a 2 and these 3s could connect. Well, let's not write that in either. I think it's correct. But only because of some stuff I did around here that was based... I seemed to run into a contradiction. But let's find a good way to prove it instead. This 5 has to go at least here. It might take all of these, or it might take only some of them. Or none. This 5... It can only take 1 cell outside, actually, right? At most. So it has to take at least 4 of these. 3, I mean. This one plus 3 more is 4. But because there's no requirement that regions do anything in particular in here, if it were taking only 3, it could take any 3. Well, no. It couldn't take this and this and this, I suppose. So it has to take at least that one. But if I wanted to take only 3 of these... Oh no, I was going to say, if I wanted to take only 3 of these, there's symmetry. There's too many ways to do it. So it must be the case that we actually take all of them. But that's not true. We could do this. So it might take none of these. I was like, oh, it can't touch this 5, but it can touch the 5 if it also, like, absorbs it, right? Okay, these 3s look really important. We have to do this. This one has to be the same as this one, right? Because if it tries not to be, it can't go up or left. It has to go this far, but then it can't get to this one, but it does have to touch it. So it has to do this to touch this, to absorb this 3, but not touch this 3. This can't be a 1, so it's got to be at least a 2. This 3 can't reach that 3, but it can't touch it either, so we have to do this. Now this can't go here, because it would be touching another 3. And this 3 can't go down there either. This 3 can't go here, so it has to go there, and then it can't go down either, so it has to go up. Now this 5 is nailed in. Turns out it did need all of these. Huh. Here's a funny thing about this region. You can't quite figure out what's happening in here, but actually you can make quite a lot of deductions. In fact, I believe you can actually show this. But you can't show that it's a 4. Not just locally, anyway. Because what's going to happen in here? Let's say these weren't all connected. One of them would have to be disconnected, at least. But if it was only one disconnected, wouldn't we have another 3? I guess we wouldn't, because we could touch this 5. I see. But, okay. Well, no. If there were a wall here, regardless of what's going on here, we wouldn't have a unique solution. This could be 2 and 1, or 2 and 1. And it can't be 3, but it could be either 2 or 1 either way, right? So this being a wall leads to no unique solution, so it must be connected. Okay, cool. And now, if there were a wall here, you'd have a problem. This would either have to be 2 1s adjacent to each other, or 2 adjacent to this 2? No, that's not true, because this could be a 5. Okay, so there might be a wall here. If that were a wall, this would have to be a 4. And if that weren't a wall, it would have to be a 5. So this is a largish region, but I can't connect it to anywhere specific yet, I think. Okay, this 5 can't be the same 5 as these 2. But it can only reach up by 1 without touching them. So it must, in fact, come in here. This is a 5, and it can only reach 1 more, so it's got to go at least there. Okay. This 3 can't go here, it's got to go up. And it can't go here. This can't go there. It's got to go over. This can't be a 1. it seems like it could be a 2 here, and then these are a 3, and that's a 2. So there must be some reason it can't do this. Oh, of course. If it did this, right. This 3 can't go all the way left because it would touch this group. So it has to go a little bit to the right, and now it has to go all the way to the right to touch, to merge a group it's already touching. So this is all done down here. Now my 2 goes there. This 3 has to come up. Now this 5 has to take this cell, at least. And it can't come down here and meet this other 5, so it's got to take that cell and be done. The 5 goes there. The 3 can't go left, it would touch another 3, it goes here. There you go. I know this is some animal. It's like a, I don't know, there's a cartoon of an animal that looks like this somehow. Like it's not quite a horse, right? I mean, obviously it's not a horse. The spikes. But without the spikes, it has kind of the same vibe, like a long-necked, I don't know, almost like a... You look at this and say, well, it does not seem to be a horse. Yeah, you got that right. That's the most cogent description you could come up with, huh? This 2 can't go down because that would be a 1, so it goes up. This has to come out really far to at least here. Get me out of purple mode. Okay, what I've done is impossible. Let's not do that. So I was saying, this can't be a 1. So it has to go to at least here. So it's not a 2. So it goes to here. So it's not, but it's not a 3 either. So it's not a 4. Ah, I see. And now it can't be a 5. It's got to go here. It's not a 6. And I was going to say, oh, well, that means it has to turn and then it can't be a 7. But that's not true. It could go here and be a 7, which it will have to do because this 3 comes up. And now we really do have to do this and stop. This can't be a 1, so it's part of the 6. This 6 needs at least 2 cells out here. I think probably needs to be the same as this 6. Well, yeah, of course. There's not enough space for 2 6s, a 4, and a 5 in these 13 cells. So it has to take at least this cell. Because if it tried to join up by going here, the 5 wouldn't have enough room. So now the 4... I said 13, but there are 15 cells. Maybe I said 15. These 3 regions account for the entirety of the unsolved puzzle area. So every cell does have to get to a marker. So like this has to get to a 4, to a marker somehow, and the 4 is the only one it can reach. Oh, and if the 6 did this, the 5 would be in just as much trouble, so it does that. Okay. There's no way this can avoid touching this 4, so it must merge with it. This 5 definitely merges with this 5. But again, I don't quite know how. Well, okay, this can't go there. That's a 1. comes here, can't do that or that or that or that. So that's a 1, that goes there. Now you have to go that way, that's a 1. This can't be a 1 or a 2, so it's the 5. Which still has to merge with this 5. This is my 3. So the 4 goes here. This can't be a 1. It has to attach to the 5. So it looks like that. I mean, I guess we could have this, couldn't we? I guess we can't because there's going to end up being a uniqueness problem here. It can't be a 3, and it can't be a 1 and a 2 because there are 2 ways it could be a 1 and a 2. So, by uniqueness, this is the only way we could have a unique solution to the puzzle. And then we have to join these up. This has to get to at least here. This 3 can't go here because it could merge with one of these 2, but not both. So this one can't go down because it would be touching another 3. And this one can't go up either. It has to do this. Hey! Yeah. Oh, I just did this one? Are you sure? I thought I was clicking on a new one. How about you? Twos are really restrictive in this universe. Yes, that's still unique because this can't be a 1 and a 2 because no matter where you put the 2, it's touching another 2. So it has to be actually a 3. I see. This 2 can't go up, it's got to go that way, so this one goes that way. This can't go down because this would have to be... Well, no, it could be a 3, and this could be a 3. We would be done. This is correct. Why can't it go that way? Because this would either have to be 2 1s or 1 2, both of which are impossible. Okay, got it. Easy starts. So now this can't be a 2. This can't be a 1 or a 2 either. This, yeah, these all have to expand in here. And if one of them merges, like that, the other group still needs to merge. In fact, I think maybe more to the point, every single one of these dominoes has to merge with something because they're all touching a domino. And so there have to be, in this area, 4 additional merges, right? And there's only 4 shapes to merge, so they all have to become one shape. And this is just the same thing again? No, they're different. What did I get wrong? Because I feel like this is identical. Ah, no, not quite. I assumed there's all these places where there's a 1 touching a 2, but this is the one space where that's not true. We can actually have a 2 here. So it's this, in fact. This has to go to at least 3. This has to merge in. this still has to merge with someone. And if I did this, it couldn't, well, right. It can't go here, because then there's 2 3s, I guess is the right way to see it. And now if this comes down, I have 2 Fs, or 2 5s, I guess. So they must be a 4 and a 5. Huh, that's cute. There's a bunch of little 3 regions, and I guess we're gonna have to alternate making them one, you know, how setting them up as 1 2 1 2, maybe? It's a 1. None of these can be a 1. Yes, they have to do this. They have to be a 3. Well, okay, so the point is now this region can't be another 3. So it has to be a 1 and a 2. Where's the 1? It's not here. What size is this region? Because this region has to be a different size than this and this. So if this were size 1, these would each have to be size 2. Well, but there's nothing saying... Oh, but they couldn't be size 2. Because this would be a 2. This would have to be a 3. This would be a 2. This actually seems like it might work. I thought I was going to prove it was impossible. But it seems like it might be okay. Actually, I think, right. This cell sees all of this. So whether this is a 2 and this is a 1, or vice versa, this is a 2 and this is a 1, those are the only 2 possibilities. This sees both of those. So this is a 3. Now, like, this cell and this cell both see a 3. Well, they see 2 3s. Well, this one sees 2 3s, in fact. But well, okay, so if this were a 1, we would just have a big problem. Because this couldn't be a 1, and it couldn't be a 3, because it would touch this. So it would be a 2. Fine. But, oh, I thought this was going to lead to a space that could see a 1 and a 2 and a 3. But I guess it doesn't. Like, I think actually this might be a coloring problem. Because, which I haven't really done much of. Whatever. Can you have colored? I thought you could have colored pencil markers. I guess you can't. Okay. I mean, there's colors right here. It would be cool if you would let me. But this is either, let's call it A. It's either a 1 or a 2. I don't know which. But I do know this is the opposite. And therefore this has to be an A again. And this is a B, right? Because it can't be a 3. So then this sees a 3 and a B, so it's got to be an A, which means this is a B. This has to be an A again. This is a B again. This is an A. This is a B. This is a 3. Because it sees an A and a B. So this is what I mean by coloring. Often, you know, in a digital, like if you were doing a Sudoku, digital Sudoku solve, like the famous Sven Sudoku pad, or Penpa, I guess, is another one, allow you to color cells. And that would be, rather than using letters, it would be traditional to like say, oh, well, I'll color this orange, and orange means either size 1 or 2, but I don't know which, and I'll color this blue. I've done that in some previous ones, but here, for some reason, I thought I would need, I don't know, why not just use colors? Because, I guess. So now, this region can't be a 3. So this, it's split up into an A and a B. So this is an A, and this is a B, which means this is another 3. And this is an A, and this is a B, and that's another 3. So this is an A, and this is a B, and that's an A, and that's a B, that's an A, that's a B, and now this is another 3. And so I've filled in all the places there are 3s. And I've got a perfectly tiled set of A's and B's. So what is it exactly that lets me decide which of them is a 2? And it's this cell here. This, if B were 2, we would have 2 2s next to each other. So that's not allowed. B is 1. Cool. Is that still going to be in my, is that you? It's here forever. Okay, sure. A monument to my note-taking, I guess. There's another one back here somewhere. How do you... Size separation and a minimum of 5. Well, these cells can't get out through here. So this has to come to at least here. Right? No. Could do that for all I know. Okay, but I have another dead end to start with there, I guess. This cell, if it tried to not go here, it would have to go all the way up here, and then it walls itself off. So it has to at least reach there. That's something, I guess. I wish that I could show it has to take this cell, but I can't immediately show that. There's just enough space for it to do this. So maybe I can prove that that's not possible. No, I can't. Not immediately, anyway. I don't see where you can start here. Is it important to know the area of the size of the area? I don't think so. This is size 51, right? 7 squared plus 2? 51, minimum 5, so there are at most 10 regions. At least one of them must be size at least 6. Not very helpful, right? This region, I mean, there's so many things it could do. It could go all the way down there for all I know. It almost has to do that. Like, it doesn't actually have to, but it kind of almost does. Like, you can fit these 5 in. You can't, can you? Because now this region is stuck. No, it's not. It can do this. Well, but it can't, because then this is in trouble, right? So maybe at the very center of the puzzle, this cell is the one I should be focused on. Where does it go? Yeah. It could go down, but only as far as this. It can't come back up. And likewise, it can't go up any further than 2. So in fact, the center of the region is this. The center of the puzzle is this region. That's what I've been missing. Well, better join that, I guess. Can't go there, so you better join that. These 2 regions have to join, because what else is this region going to do? It can't do that, so maybe it goes up here, and it gets it 5 cells. But now this one can't get its 5 cells, so these are the same region. Cool. But now these cells in here, they have to be a new region. They can't join with this region, which is walled off from them, and this region is also walled off from them. I guess they don't have to be new. They could be, you know, from like here or whatever. But they're not from one of the nearby regions. And they're all together, because this one can't escape down. You've got to do at least this much. And something similar happens here, right? Yeah. It has to escape at least that much. So these join up. I haven't even had to use size separation yet to get all this. You can't go there. You can't go there. Wait a minute. These aren't the same. You can't go there. That's true. But you totally could. Now finally size separation is relevant. This can't be a 5 anymore. So it has to be this 6. So this 5 comes down. This is now a 6. And this region is also currently 6. So it's got to get bigger. It's got to be 7. So that's got to go there. And this is a 7, but so is this. So this has to get bigger. Has to join up there. Something's wrong. If I were right, the puzzle would have displayed fireworks by now. These are stuck. Hang on. I think I see what I did wrong. There was no reason to conclude that this had to stop. It could go here. Why not? This has to continue because this is a 7. And it can't go that way. So this does have to go there. And that's how I conclude this doesn't go there. This does. How am I doing on this? Oh, just 3 more to gild it? It would be nice to gild an area in one episode, wouldn't it? Size separation. Huh. That's a bit of a surprise. This area must contain a 1 and a 2. So this can't be size 1 or 2. It's actually a 3. I thought there wouldn't be any 3s in this puzzle. So these are 2s and this is a 1. Oh, I guess I wouldn't be gilding this. I'd just be making it metal. I don't know, whatever. This is an enormous rose windows count. There's like 100 regions. It's got to go out there. That's got to go out there. That has to go out. This needs to get to a symbol. I guess that's this region done. That's a 2. This can't be a 1 or a 2, so it's a 3. This can't be a 3, but I don't know. It could be like a 4 or a 5 or something. Maybe. This is done. This can't be a 2, so it's a 1. This can't be a 2, so it's a 1. This can't be a 2 anymore, so it's got to keep going. Seems like it could be a 3. That could be fine. But what is this? It's a 1. If it goes this way, well, it can't be a 2 because it's next to this. So if it wants to get any bigger, it has to be a 3. But then it's taking both of these and it's next to another 3. So that's no good. It's a 1. So this has to be the region that takes this cell. This can't be a 1, and also it's got to get to a rose window symbol. This can't be a 1 or a 2. But how do I know which way it goes, actually? It seems like it could go west and become a 4, or south and merge with this and be a 4. Well, okay. This cell, it can't just go up and stop, because then it's a 2. It can't go up and go west, because then it would merge with this. So whether it goes up or not, it has to merge here. Now, this can't be a 2, because it would be there. But it can't be a 3 either? Was I wrong about this? I thought everything I was doing seemed correct, as I always think, of course. Sometimes I enter upon embarking. I embark on little guesses. Not guesses. Hypotheticals? But I'm trying to make it clear when I'm doing that. I thought everything I'd written here was true. But clearly there's a contradiction here. Okay, let's just start over. Because I don't know exactly where I ran into the problem. This has to be at least a 2. This has to be at least a 2. This has to be at least a 2 and has to join there, so it's a 3. This is at least a 2, indeed exactly a 2. This can't touch any other symbols, so it's a 2. This can't be a 1 or a 2, so it's a 3. It's gotta go there. Gotta go... No, that's not true. Could be a 1. Could easily be a 1. Probably is a 1. Can't do that. This can't be a 2, so it's got to keep going. This can't be a 2, because it's touching a 2, so it's got to be a 1. This, if it wanted to take this cell, would have to be a 2, which it can't be, so it's a 1. So everything up to here is correct, yes? Good. This is when it got a little bit interesting. This can't go there. If this cell came down here, it would have to either stop becoming a conflicting 2 or go, whoops, here, becoming a conflicting 3. So it doesn't do that. And it can't go here because it would be a 2. So this is a 1. So you have to get to there. If I went this way, there'd be 2 3s next to each other, so don't do that. This can't be a 2, because it's next to a 2, but it can't be a 3. So it's got to go all the way to here. So that, but this can't be a 1, and it can't be a 2. And it can't merge with the other region. Right? Yeah, there's a mistake here. This is correct. Well, this has to go there. Oh, I think I did this, but that's not justified. This totally could join up, and apparently it does. Yes. So now this can't be a 3, so it has to stop here, and this has to pick that up. This has to be a 2. I see. One more to kick off this area, I guess. These two have to touch, but it's not yet known how. So these two have to touch. Because if it tried to go to somewhere else, this would be stuck, of course. These two have to touch. This one can only get here. Let's start drawing all this stuff in. There's a 2 here, so everything next to it has to grow. That's done, that's done. This has to get here. So that has to go there. This can't be a 3, it's got to grow more. This can't be a 2, so it has to grow more. This is done. Obviously these two touch. I don't really need to color it in, but sure. This can't go here because it would be another 3, so this stops. So that's got to pick those up, but it can't be a 3, so it does this. This can't be a 3, so it goes to at least here. This can't be a 4, so it's got to stop. This is a 4. This can't be a 2. This can't be a 3 or a 4, so it stops. Okay, great. Oh, I've never watched one of these like open as... as I metallicize a window. Also, like, is this... do they always look like they have a bunch of, like, paper on them or whatever? I've never really been able to look very closely at these because you can't zoom in that far. I see. So ones you've never visited have, like, junk all over them. Designs or something. Or glass. Supplies? Ones you have visited just show the grid. Well, since I've looked at this one, let's do it, and then let's go. Oh, size separation and shape bank. We're finally getting shape bank back. Well, if this went to here and stopped, I think there'd be a problem. Because this one would have to go here and stop, and they'd be the same. But I think it could go to here, and then there could be a 3 there. Like, why not, right? And it could go here, and this could do this. Oh, is that too big? I see. I thought I had a 4 tall, 2 wide, but I don't. I have a 3 tall, 3 wide. I see. So it can't go here, because then this shape is stuck. So we have to do this, which means we have to keep going. You don't quite have to draw this corner in, I don't think. You could have something like this. I see that you can't, actually. Because then these would touch. But the more direct way to prove that is just to notice that these two are the same size already, so this one has to keep going. Then this has to go here. And it can't be a big V like this. And it can't be a small L like this. So it actually has to be a 3. And then this has to come out, and it can't be a 3 or a 4, so it's a 5. This can't be a 5, so it's a 4. This one, well, we can't leave this space unaccounted for, so we need a 3 here. Now I have 9 cells. It's got to be a 5 here and a 4 here. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.